Jagex just released a new trailer and an insane amount of information covering the next Elder Goddard dungeon front, being the Galeka front, featuring a customizable boss that drops tier 95 weapons and more. So whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. This new boss and second Goddard dungeon front will be in the live game on the 31st of August 2021, so it's only 11 days away. But before I get into the details shared on the live stream, you have to see the trailer for yourself first if you haven't already. Enjoy. Alright, the new boss is the Glacier, and it is a massable boss unlike Carapac. Now, I'm not sure what the max amount of players in the arena or instance is, but I did hear Modorion say 20 players on the stream or during the stream, so we can just simply say at least 20 players at the max. Maybe more, maybe 50, but 20 for sure. Now, according to Modorion, this is a boss that is best done with either ranged or magic, but you can definitely do it with melee as well. It's just going to be slightly harder. This boss is unique in the fact that you don't have any death costs as you get teleported out by Azanandra if you are doing it in normal mode. It's also safe for hardcore Iron Man, according to Modorion. The Glacier is the first customizable RuneScape boss, as you can quite literally turn off mechanics that you don't like. You do this by talking to the mages or clicking on the little interface thingy. Now, this is great as you can practice a specific mechanic you have issues with or you really want to get better at, or simply disable it because you dislike it and don't want to learn it. The point of this boss is to appeal to every single type of player, as you can customize the boss to your own liking and skill and what you want to practice or not. So you have 6 mechanics, but the first mechanic, known as the creeping ice mechanic, is a mechanic you cannot turn off. This mechanic forces you into another position for the next mechanic and is supposed to teach you basic movement. And apparently it's also less punishing if you use melee weapons and armor. Now, the next mechanic are the Glacier minions. The boss will spawn 2 melee and magic minions which shield the boss from taking damage. You have to kill these minions as fast as possible, and they reward an item that does damage against the boss. This is supposed to learn you AoE spells, target switching, and all that kind of stuff. The next mechanic, being Flurry, is supposed to teach you prayer flicking, as the boss attacks 40% faster. I'm assuming the normal speed is 60% to help you prayer flick or something of the sort, but as a reward for turning on this mechanic, your protection prayers will be 15% more effective. Next up, we have Pillars of Ice, which are 2 beams that will damage you and sap your prayer, and these are supposed to learn you advanced moving as they follow you around at crawl speed, so about 50% player speed. These are probably similar to the Rex Matriarch beam. Next up, we have one of the coolest looking mechanics in the game, if not the coolest mechanic I've ever seen, being Frost Cannon. Now, this is a high hitting mechanic that will probably kill you in around 3 to 4 hits, and this is supposed to teach you defensives like Resonance or Barricade, as without it you probably won't make it through the fight. Unless you turn the mechanic off, of course. And the final mechanic, which sadly does not have an animation or they couldn't show it on stream due to some technical issues, is Exposed Core. This mechanic slowly deals more and more damage to you, and it's supposed to teach you DPS and survival, or burst DPS, as you're going to need to destroy its arms quickly to escape, otherwise you will die. I've got to say, these animations, this entire boss looks absolutely awesome. Now, if you DPS too hard in normal mode only, there's this time gating mechanic which lowers your damage. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but that's something Modorion was talking about, as they don't want you turning on all 5 mechanics and simply blasting through it all and skipping it all. They, implemented some kind of limiting feature which measures your DPS and boss HP. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but we'll see when we get more information or try the boss on release. Apart from normal mode, we also have hard mode. Now, they didn't give away too many details on hard mode, but we do know it is solo only, and you have to unlock it by beating the normal mode boss with all 5 mechanics active, or 6, in solo. So you can't unlock hard mode through massing. Hard mode has a copy or something very similar to the Telos Enrage and Streaking system, where the higher the Enrage is, the more HP the boss has, the more damage you take, the more mechanics are changed, the more loot you get, and there's even something similar to the Warden title for reaching certain Enrage percentages, probably 500, 1000, 2000, 4000, or just like Telos 500, 2000, and 4000% Enrage. Now, in hard mode, your deaths will not be safe, and you'll have to die just like in every other boss in RuneScape, if you die. As for rewards, they didn't share all the rewards, but we do, of course, have a new Elder God book. The Pontifex ring will have an upgrade. There's more equipment. They said specifically equipment that's coming up.
There are more rewards, okay? There are more rewards than the swords, and by rewards I mean equipment, okay? There's more equipment. But we will talk about that later.
Now, what we do know for sure is we're going to have tier 95 and tier 85 melee dual wield weapons. Now, the tier 95 dual wield melee weapon upgrade, or orb, or dormants, or whatever it's going to be, will only be dropped from hard mode. The tier 85 dual wield melee weapons can be dropped from normal mode. As for other drops, there's these crafty elements that probably have something to do with the tier 95 weapons as well, being Galacor Remnants and Dark Nylants or something, which you can craft into something and then they're tradable, which will be used to craft, I quote, a bunch of items, including the wings and the tier 85 weapon, if I understood that correctly, and probably a lot of other things as well. Now, these are dropped from the normal Galacors and the smaller ones, which require level 84 Slayer. These new Galacors or Galacers will probably drop a bunch of clue scrolls very commonly, as it was said that clue scroll hunters will like these new Galacites. The original Galacers have also been reworked, and you no longer need the Ritual of the Mardurat to kill them. You can simply kill them at the Galacer front. I don't even know what it is, but yeah, you can kill them here, and as you can hear, I'm really excited for this. I'm genuinely so excited for this. Another cool thing to know is that Hellweir can grant you an AoE Mushroom Battlefield ability to use against the Galacers. And that's pretty much everything I've written down during the stream. Now, the only other thing that might be worth noting is that if you have 2 mechanics active of the 5 in normal mode, the boss has around 140,000 life points. If you have 0 mechanics active, according to Mod Orion, it's easier than AFK KBD, so it's probably a joke, which means this boss is accessible to every single member in the game. And there's no death costs permanently for normal mode. You can choose your mechanics you want or don't want. This is literally the ultimate learner boss for RuneScape. This is something they should have added ages ago, but I'm happy that it's coming because this is really, really good. This boss combines everything PVM-wise in the game into one boss, including the Enrage and Streaking system Telos has. This is going to be the best boss in the game, 100%. And in case you didn't know, it's also going to be PVM week, which means unlimited overloads and free deaths at all bosses. I don't know about you guys, but this seems like the boss, and I'm glad they actually shared a lot of details on stream. We know what's coming, and it's exciting. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.